Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. You know, there is at least one time in your life as a father when you're asking yourself, you don't say it of course, is it really my son? Well, I can confirm you, 200% it is my son. Especially because I saw how he was celebrating that goal of Zaccagni against Croatia. Totally crazy. Zaccagni del Piero. What a goal. What a fantastic goal. We're all celebrating. I was at my parents' home. We're all celebrating, jumping in the air. I turn myself. I see that he's suffering. What's happening? Well, while falling on the ground, bah, the foot there, the ankle bomb. We go to the emergency. Of course, we were really scared. We were thinking, what is happening with his ankle? Hopefully, it's not broken. I can reassure all the people that were asking for it. He's doing really well. It's extremely swollen at the moment, but not broken. Ligaments are okay. But that was totally crazy. You know how I am celebrating, so imagine this time so much because I was not alone. We were not alone. It was totally crazy. Was that the only beautiful thing that we saw with Italy? I didn't do the post game because of that, of course. Yesterday I wanted to stay with my son, which I believe it's important. Family first, and then we do the rest. Well, small update about Italy. Really bad Italy. And then we go towards all the other updates. Maximum of like if you didn't yet, please continue to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. We are continuing to grow and this is thanks to you. So now, what other did we see that was really beautiful in that Croatia-Italy? Well, not that much into the game, except of the qualification to the round of 16, but much more the post-game, where we saw Fagioli swapping shirt with Luka Modric. Why am I speaking about that moment? Because I remember that more than 1 year ago, when I had an interview with Fagioli, I asked him about his idols, and he told me Del Piero until he played. When he stopped, it was Dybala, but there is always one guy that I'm inspiring myself to, and it is Luka Modric. Well, yesterday or 2 days ago, when I saw him swapping shirts with Luka, that was beautiful. That was extremely beautiful and a beautiful touching moment. Now, speaking about that, Fagioli, important for Juventus, but now, if you're speaking about now, it is extremely important for an extremely poor Italy. He needs to play. He needs to start. When you see how he's making his debut, how he's super calm on the ball, that short dribble to avoid the pressing of the opponents. When you see the magic, Fagioli needs to play. Fagioli needs to play. Fagioli needs to play. Because at the moment, if we are looking at that Italy, who is the best man of Italy at the moment? It is Donnarumma. Not much more. The disaster players of Italy so far after 3 games, after winning against Albania, losing against Spain, and the way that we lost, and that draw at the 98th minute against Croatia, well, Jorginho is a disaster. And I would not play with Jorginho and Fagioli. Would play Fagioli instead of for Jorginho. Jorginho is slow. He can't keep up with the rhythm that is Euro 2024 is requesting. More Di Lorenzo. We know it, and Di Lorenzo Juve, but Di Lorenzo at Italy is a total disaster. He said it himself. Probably if it was another coach than Spalletti, I would not have played because I'm playing really bad. A bit better against Croatia, but far from the Napoli Di Lorenzo that we saw 2 seasons ago. Darmian, Di Marco, bad. Fratesi, a ghost. Pellegrini, not good. Even Cambiaso, not good at all. Raspadori, but then imagine an Italy, especially for people from my generation that are seeing a 3-5-2 in Italy with Retegui, Raspadori as your offensive power. That's a huge problem. That's a real huge problem. So who is good in Italy? It is a Donnarumma, it is a Fagioli, he is to play, but then, of course, and he will not play because he is banned, it is Riccardo Calafiori. What a tournament, what a tournament, what a tournament. And I will tell you, unfortunately, and that's the huge problem because we enter that big topic of Riccardo Calafiori Juventus. Not at all cost is the big title of today's video. For what reason? Because Calafiori and Juventus, they already found everything as an agreement. For people that are continuing to say Juventus needs to go, Juventus needs to do, Juventus need to do the max that they can. Well, Juventus already did. And since long time, Juventus needed to close the deal before the start of Euro 2024. Juventus did. They did everything they had in their power, agreeing with a player that is only thinking about Juve after, of course, that dream of Euro 2024. The entourage, they found an agreement on the salary, the length of the contract. He's happy to join again the Thiago Motta, his maestro, the one, because it's thanks to Thiago Motta that Calafiori has been called up to Euro 2024. That is a starter, that is delivering performance after performance. Everything has already been done. I will tell you even more, even with Bologna, verbally, they kind of found an offer that was okay with the request. They were about a bit more than 27 million euro. Until that call up of Spalletti. It's actually because of Spalletti that we are not closing the deal, because he called up Calafiori, and that's where Bologna said, wait, because you know it, Saputo, Sartori, Di Vaio, they really know a lot of football. It's not a coincidence that they are in Champions League. It's not only thanks to Thiago Motta. Pay attention to that. Well, they said we wait because they hoped one thing. The initial thought of Bologna is we keep Calafiori because we will play Champions League, so that he's increasing on international level and we are able to sell him for the 50 plus million euro in 1 year, not now. The thing is, with that euro, and that's what they were hoping for, a lot of international interest is coming on the player. Who are the teams on him? There were some rumors of Real Madrid, but we have no confirmation. But the real teams that are on him, but seriously, are Tottenham and Arsenal. London is calling for Ricky Calafiori, and they have no problems of liquidity. They can go and putting on the table these 50 million that Bologna want for in 1 year. They are able to give them immediately, which Bologna would be extremely happy, because that's nearly double of what Juventus is able to give. Is it over for him? No, but we have to pay attention, because Arsenal at the moment didn't do an offer. Tottenham did. Tottenham already is advancing. Now, not sure that he will go to Tottenham, but there are some teams, and I'm sure that not against Switzerland, because he's not playing, because if we continue that tournament, even more teams will go. And maybe the price can increase even more. This is at least what Bologna is hoping for. Not at all cost for Juventus. And I totally agree with that, because it's not that we have undefined, that we have unlimited budget. We already spoke about it. Don't believe all the fantastic lineup that I'm starting to see with Di Gregorio in the goal, Calafiori, Khéphren, Thuram, Douglas Luiz, Federico, Chiesa. So it looks like Juventus, they will buy, they will sign, they will sell no player. We all stay with what we have and we buy. No, guys, this is not the reality. We need to face the reality. Juventus, they can't sign if they don't sell. That's what Juventus need to do, and they can buy, yes, but until a certain moment. If they can insert players, this is ideal. Otherwise, it's really difficult. We saw it with, what's the player there? Douglas Luiz, that will join Juventus. When McKennie collapsed, it's not that we said, okay, we give the difference in cash. No, we found an alternative, that is Barrenechea. Because Juventus has not unlimited budget. At all cost? No, not at all cost is the moment. But Juventus, they will continue to push, and hopefully Calafiori is refusing all the other offers that are coming from England, and that would be ideal, because Juventus will have then a bit more power to continue the negotiation with Bologna. Does that mean that the Calafiori at the end he will 100% arrive? No, because it's a really tough one, and that's why Juventus is looking around. One of the names is Kivior, that is not doing a beautiful Euro, actually a bad Euro. But Thiago Motta knows him from La Spezia, because he was already his coach. And even Giuntoli wanted him after La Spezia, but then he went to Arsenal. He didn't compete anymore. He wanted him at Napoli, so he knows the player really well. Left foot center back, this is what Juventus is looking for. There are probably other alternatives, but then Juventus is thinking about another name. That the deal collapsed between Nice and Manchester United. What am I talking about? Who am I talking about? Well, during these talks for Khéphren Thuram, that we come back in a second, there was the name of Todibo, that was a Manchester United player, if it was not that FIFA, UEFA are not allowing it, because same ownership playing in the same international competition, they can't do it. 40 million euro was the price, so it's too much for you. You will tell me, Beppe, then go for Calafiori. The problem is that at 40 million euro, Bologna, they don't sell him today. They don't sell him, especially not to Juve, because they don't want to sell it to Juve. It's always the same music. It's always the same thing, not to Juve. If we can, last option, Juve. That's a disaster. Well, Todibo, Nice, they have no problem to sell him to Juve, because they know that it's time also to cash in for him. It's not in his last year of contract, so it's a lot of money that we are speaking about. But Todibo can be there. If Calafiori flops, if Kivior, at the end, we can't go for an agreement, well, then possibly we could have a Todibo as a real important man. But for that, we need to cash in. That means that we need to sell some players. And one of the names that can be there on the Mercato is the one of Federico Gatti. Federico Gatti, that in all the lineups that I saw, that I watched online, never he's a starter. Because that's also what Thiago Motta is thinking. He's not a starter in my 24-25 Juventus. There is an offer, and it's not the first time. an offer from Newcastle. They were already on the player last year. At the end, it didn't happen. Well, Gatti could possibly go to Newcastle for 25-30 million euro. That money, they will receive it, Juventus, and they will try to go for Calafiori, of course, if it happens. We are far. It's rumors, it's initial talk, but you know the Mercato is crazy. Everything can happen really fast. Well, with that money, Juventus will be a bit stronger, but not, even with that money, not to match the 50+ million euro request of Bologna. And that's where the name of Todibo could be a possibility. And that's for the defense. Speaking about the midfield, because I want to accelerate, well, Tutto Sport is speaking about Thuram. Thuram, Juve, sì. Thuram, Juve, yes, because we are there. There is a clear intention from the player. There is a clear opening from the club, Nice. There is Juventus that really want to go for him, and here we can say at all cost, yes, but not at all cost in terms of money, because we are speaking about a 25 million euro request that will drop towards 20. Juventus is thinking about inserting a player. Who can be that player? It's not Moiskin, as you heard recently. It's not Milik. Why? Because the salary is really high. But Joseph Nonje. Am I sad? You know how much I love Joseph, but Joseph couldn't prove himself. Is it because of behavior? Is it because of focus? Is it because he's young and not mature enough to be a star at Juve? I don't know. It could possibly be. But Joseph Nonge could possibly go to Nice as a counterpart to even drop and decrease the price of Thuram that said yes, and everything could be. So really fast, after Douglas Luiz, we could see Thuram. So what is the at all cost? It is not the price, but it is Rabiot. Rabiot, that today could be a decisive day. Why? Because after the game of yesterday was really bad, and from France and from Rabiot, not a great performance at all by the Frenchman. Today they will have a free day. Didier Deschamps, they also gave them the permission to meet families and friends, to have a day of rest, you know, really far from football. Well, we know that the agent of Rabiot is the mother, and they could possibly go for a final decision, yes or no, to the offer of Juve. Well, Giuntoli, he has no rush on that one. Why? Because he decided Thuram will come, regardless of what will happen with Adrien Rabiot. Douglas Luiz, tomorrow, on Thursday, the medicals, the one of Ealing Jr. has already been done yesterday. Today, the one of Barrenechea that already landed in Birmingham. And then we'll do the medicals to Douglas Luiz, that then probably before the end of the week will be announced as a new Juve player. I'm happy about that. When I'm telling you selling, well, Huijsen is always on the market, and they have the intention to really cash in on him. Not only Huijsen, but also Moiskin. I told you, not to Bologna, but maybe to Fiorentina. Fiorentina, I already told you, Palladino, extremely interested in him when he was at Monza, extremely interested in him now, and he decided, more than Saudi Arabia, he really wants to open the discussion with Fiorentina. It could happen because that's a beautiful team to relaunch his career staying in Italy. So there you can also cash in. At the moment, I think, honestly, because of the high salary, that it will be a kind of Arthur deal. Some part of because it will be probably alone with a part of the salary paid by Juventus Football Club. And then there is a few news that you will not be happy about. But you remember when we spoke about Salamakers a few times? Well, Salamakers is increasing that ranking of offensive wingers. Why? I already told you. Cheap. Is going to Milan. For 10 million euro, you can secure the Belgian winger. It's a player that knows what Thiago Motta is requesting. It's a player that can do offensive, defensive. It's a player that can be perfect there in the rotation team of Thiago Motta. Of course, we are thinking about other players, about other names. We are dreaming about other, a la Sancho, a la Adeyemi, of course, which Juventus is also thinking about. And they will try with a big name on loan. But if we know that we need maybe even two names, well, Salamakers could be one of them, because he's really cheap and because he's really appreciated by Thiago Motta. When we speak about wingers, of course, we need to speak about Federico Chiesa. There are two sources. The one that are thinking like, okay, Di Lorenzo could go to Juve. Federico Chiesa could go to Antonio Conte. By the way, today it's the Conte day at Napoli, so pay attention for that one. But from what I'm starting to hear, Federico Chiesa is starting to open again the idea to accept that bridge year contract with Juventus, to stop with this crazy salary request, maybe because he understood that the offers, the big offers that he was expecting, and hoping that he was doing well at Euro 2024 are not arriving. So for the people that want Federico Chiesa to stay at Juve, it is not over. You can have a bit more hope again, so just be patient. But Chiesa, Di Lorenzo, the players from Euro 2024, will have to wait a bit more weeks about that. I hope you enjoyed that mega recap, the big update about the news. Let me know about Thuram, about Gatti, what you would do for Gatti. What about Calafiori? Did you give up on the hope or not? A lot of things that you can tell me. I'm curious to read you. Grazie, forza, Juve.